flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Present.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Ms. LaPensi? Mr. Runnells?
Start off with our public comments. Teresa, you have anything?
Me?
Yep.
I have two questions for the trustees. We just now had finished the newsletter, and it should be going out really soon. And the calendar went out. Did everybody get their calendar? Okay, good. So what we noticed was in the calendar, Miami University had purchased an ad in it, and somehow or another it did not get put in. So very luckily the newsletter hadn't gone out yet, so we switched them to a newsletter ad, which was good, but my thought is they're probably not going to get as much exposure as they would have in the calendar. Mm-hmm. So I told them that I would give them their money back for the calendar ad. And Dave had said, well, to do that, we have to ask the trustees if they would be okay with that. So she was very appreciative when I offered that. I wasn't thinking it had to go like this official, but I wanted to run that by you. We did get their ad in the newsletter, but it just won't have the staying power as the calendar for a whole year. So I wanted to ask you that question, if we're able to give them a refund on that.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll just put it right back in next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then my other question about the newsletter, the spring newsletter, I hadn't been doing the newsletter very long, and I had invited the organization called Downtown Middletown to send us their calendar, and we added that to the newsletter, and it was a great thing to have because it's local, it's like events right down the street, and it all happened really quickly, and I put it in, but my question is it okay if I continue to offer that to them at no charge? For me, it's content, it's relevant content that is beneficial, but I didn't want you guys to sit in there and say, hey, is this organization paying for this? So I wanted to run that by you to see if you were okay with me offering that space to, it's called Middletown, Downtown Middletown Inc. And it is a nonprofit organization.
Mm-hmm. As long as it's non-profit, I think we're all right.
Is that bad?
Yeah, fits. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
That's all I've got.
Any other public comments tonight?
If we're going to pay for half of the calendar, shouldn't our meetings be on the calendar?
The meetings they're on the very front page, the trustee
Yeah, but
meetings.
like on the actual little squares.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're talking about the
Every
school,
month.
that's all, yeah. I had some discussions with some of our board members and our superintendent when they saw that bill, and they were, whoa, I said, hey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said, hey, you guys gotta pay for half of this.
Yeah.
And then they asked me about, well, what about advertisement? How much you guys make off of advertisement? I was gonna get with Dave and find out about that. But then I think, okay, how many hours does Dave put into that calendar? I mean, if you want to, drill down and
Sure,
do
absolutely.
that stuff.
Mhm.
I didn't
So-
deposit that many checks.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Yeah, but it was just, I was just.
Not a big cash maker.
No.
I wasn't upset because they were questioning it, because, we had treated them really good in the past, but I was just about there. So I just let it go. I just let it go. So, yeah. I agree with you. We need, if we're gonna pay for half that, we need to have it. Because right now that calendar is just about, I'd say 95% of the stuff in there is the school. Heck, it goes from July 1st to June 30th. That's a school calendar.
It is.
That's a school calendar.
Well, and if it's like, we have art days, or we have anything scheduled,
Yep.
Why can't we put it on?
Yeah, we should be able to do that, absolutely. Especially when we do all the work and do all the legwork and getting the advertisers, if any, that we have, and then dealing with the post office and the printers and everything else. All they have to do is provide information, and that's it. They're getting off pretty easy. right
That
there.
was really my, kind of my, I guess my decision was to put all of the township meetings
Mhm.
on that front page.
Yeah.
Just cause I felt like it would get lost with the school stuff if we
Mhm.
put it on every page.
Yeah.
And that way all together, you know, right there, anybody can go back to it. But if you guys would prefer them be on the actual day, that can totally happen. That wasn't anything, that we couldn't have done. It just made more sense to me to put them in the,
Yeah.
on
Very
that,
front page.
on that very front flipped page, yeah.
Unless you have it hooked up on your phone. When it's hooked up there, you don't even see that. You
Yeah.
don't
We
know
could
what's
probably,
going on, it's right
move,
there.
you know, moving forward, we could probably do both. Put it
Okay.
on the front and then
Yeah, in the actual,
Yeah.
in the letter, and then on every page, sure,
make it a
absolutely.
50-50 calendar. Well, at least a 70-30 or,
Yeah.
get closer to that, you know.
Yeah, and whatever, any other events that you guys want in it, absolutely, and we have to get it ready in August. We probably should have had it ready a little earlier.
See, that was one of the discussions I had, Dave and I had with the school. You need to get, I mean, if you want this out to be out there July 1st, when it's supposed to begin, you need to get all your information. And,
Yes.
And, I mean, we were shooting for the 1st of May, and that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
They were too busy getting, you know, ready for graduation and everything else. I said, okay, so next year we're gonna have to start in March.
You're
Getting
right.
all their information, all their pictures and everything else.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make sure that happens, cause
Okay.
I'll start bugging them since I'm kinda close to school over there, so.
Yeah, and I know we tend to ask them for things when they're on their breaks.
Yeah.
So, you know, I send an email and I get this response that says, I'm on spring break, or
Mhm.
I'm out for the summer. So, yeah, so if we can nail it down a little earlier, I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, they're, no comment.
Our next item is to approve the minutes. I guess there's two on there we're approving. One from our regular meeting and then one from the special meeting we had in September.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes. Next item to approve the bills for next month.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Willoughby?
Next one's to approve the road sign checks.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Next are reports. Start with our fiscal officer.
Okay. On our regular checking account, just by the way, we did receive our second half collections
Oh, good.
for our property taxes and our mobile home collections. So you won't see mobile homes on here, they'll be on the September one. But in our checking account balance as of September 1st, we have, our balance is $2,413,055.88. In the HRA account, we have $13,473.19. In our Star Ohio investment, we always keep that 1.1 million, and the interest that we earned on it in August was $5,071.44. But just so you know, I think the feds are supposed to come out this week with probably a reduction.
A half percent.
Yeah, so we'll
0.5%
see
today.
that number go down.
think that was all.
Yeah. Revenue today, we received 94.52% of our revenue, so we're at $3,179,737.38. Expenditures to date, we've spent 51% of our expenditures or approved appropriations, so we're at $1,903,543.72. The payments that we made in August was $222,982.14. Under major fund balances for the general fund, we have $470,511.33. In the road and bridge fund, we have $201,958.10. In the road district fund, we have $293,599.24. And in the fire levy fund, we have $2,336,806.49, for a total of all funds, $3,505,328.28.
Did you see the one payment we got from Trenton? Does that make sense?
Yes, but I still need to call them and ask them why it was 43,000 or whatever
Yeah.
the number was.
I've never gotten a good answer from that.
Oh, well, I want a calculation sheet, because I have to have something to put with my deposit.
I agree. And from what I understand, they said that, when they told me that, I thought that was just the first half they thought, that there would actually be a second half. And they
Okay.
were waiting for it to get payment from the,
Second half of
owner.
taxes or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, I think
Good.
so. Any other questions or comments?
I'll make a motion to accept the fiscal officer's report as presented.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes. Our fire department.
You've got in front of you the stats from last month, August of 2024. For both fire and EMS, last month was a busy month. Fire had a total of 28 calls. Front page here shows those calls. Second page here shows them broke down into building fires, vehicle fires, motor vehicle accident with injuries, 11 of them for last month. The fire locations, we had a vehicle fire on Beverly Lane, we had a vehicle fire 7100 block of Elk Creek. Went mutual aid on a structure fire, 500 block of Wayne Madison. Vehicle fire involving a semi, 6400 block of Germantown. Structure fire, barn fire, mutual aid to Union Road, Montgomery County. A structure fire called a Carlisle Mutual Aid on Joshua Court. A mutual aid grass fire to State Route 4 in Carmody, City of Middletown. And a mutual aid vehicle fire near a structure on Fairview in Carlisle. Crash locations, 122 in the Bridge, Elk Creek and West Alex, 3200 block of Pearson, 5800 block of Trenton Franklin, 5500 block of Elk Creek, 5700 block of Trenton Franklin, Keister and Franklin Madison, Trenton Franklin and Howe, 122 in Trenton Franklin had 2 of those 2 days in a row, and 122 at Elk Creek was the crash locations for last month. The zone locations of the fire calls, we had 12 in the south zone, which is very unusual because we only had 6 in the north. It's usually the opposite. North is usually busier than the south. 6 in the middle, 1 in Middletown, 1 in Montgomery County, 2 in Warren County. Squad calls. Like I said, squad was very busy last month. 93 calls for service, 54 patient transports, 39 non. Mutual aid, Wayne Township 2 times, Trenton 3, Middletown 1, and Gratis 1. Locations of those calls, 36 in the north, 35 in the middle, and 15 in the southern district. Any questions on the stats? Training this month. Training this month is truck and equipment checkoffs. We do this once a year where all department members have to be checked off on all apparatus and all small equipment. This is to verify that every employee knows how to operate every piece of equipment in the department. They have to do it with an officer. They do it together, and it's an annual thing that we do once a year. Something that's set up by Chief Runnells. Got word from the sales guy, the new engine is on the production line. Tentatively scheduled to be done end of November, 1st of December. And that's in Ocala, Florida. Kim, I turned in all of my fraud training certificates,
Yep, saw that. Thank you.
and I'd be happily to know that everybody did it.
Amazing.
100%,
That's
that's
great.
amazing.
Oh, we've almost got 100%.
Uh-oh.
We've got 2 holdouts.
Uh-oh. I thought my fire and EMS people were. I didn't think trustees would be like that.
Hey, I just got back from vacation.
They had no internet up there or what?
I thought that's.
I wasn't
how we
pointing any
did it the
fingers.
other room.
Yeah, I get it. I think there's a link to it if you need it to.
Yeah, it's only an 8-minute video,
I'll
so
get
it's
it, I'll get
very
it done.
short.
I'll probably get it done tomorrow.
Very short.
Okay. You got 4 more days.
Okay.
You know, you can do it in a group setting.
True. All you need to do is like,
Somebody,
Yeah.
one person has to sign off.
right.
I had some,
Right.
my elders up there,
Everyone do it.
we did a group setting.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow. When I get it out, while I'm drinking coffee.
There's no
Uh,
test or anything. You just have to listen.
Okay. This is on the agenda later, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it. Perkins, Mr. Perkins from Tri-State Grant Writing got us that grant for the second set of battery-operated rescue tools. It was a 75-25 grant. So out of the 50,000 roughly for the equipment, this is the Jaws of Life. We'll be responsible for just over 12,000, which is a plus because we had this on our capital purchase item for next year. So that's one thing we won't have to be putting on that capital purchase request. And again, it's on the agenda later on. I just wanted to mention it. Also, Chief Runnells called me earlier. He has been in contact with Springfest Committee. We had heard that they was wanting to donate to some organizations. They have some money they would like to use to donate to other organizations. We reached out, Dave did. They're going to buy us a $5,000 thermal camera, and this is going to go on our new engine. Kim, they're going to buy this piece of equipment direct,
Okay.
and then they're going to donate it to us.
Okay.
It'll be at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
Are they going to come and
Yes.
do a? Okay.
Yep.
Do
Yep.
we have to-
But that's some good news.
We just
Something
had to accept it.
Okay.
That's it.
Do we have to have a motion and everything to accept it? or-
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to accept it. Any donations we get, we have to accept.
But that's some good news. It's going to go on our new engine, another piece of new equipment. October 7th, schools, we got Fire Prevention Day. We'll be taking the trucks and be educating on fire safety. This week also, we'll be doing inspections at school, and we'll also be doing a surprise fire drill, which is really not a surprise because they all know we're coming the week of fire prevention. So, especially if we don't get there till Friday, then they know we're coming on Friday. So that's coming up. We briefly talked about this before. State Fire Marshal's office, surrounding counties around us has got a burn ban going on. We're currently not in that ban, correct, Chief?
Correct.
But we are in a
Correct.
severe drought issue, so it would be smart probably not to be burning anything in the township.
Do we have anything we can post online?
Just like that information I sent to you from the State
Yeah.
Fire Marshal's office. Had all the counties listed and all of them on there. We can probably put that on our website.
Okay. I'll send it over to you. Or do you have it already, Dave?
I'm sorry.
Do you have it already, Dave?
I can pull it up, but whatever you have to send it to me, if that's okay.
Okay.
Because I think I seen it, that they put out who's in the burn ban,
Yeah.
and we will on it.
Homecoming parade will be assisting in joining the homecoming parade on September 26th. We'll have our fire and EMS vehicles in that parade, just like we always have. We had a critical incident last night. Members went on a bad call. The reason why I want to mention this is we was able to utilize the side-by-side. Came into big help. This gentleman was operating a side-by-side and had a crash. It was very difficult to get to the victim. We was able to use the side-by-side to not only find the victim, but also transport our EMS personnel and also the care flight personnel to this area that was along the railroad tracks in a wooded area. Bad scene, bad critical incident, but we was able to utilize the piece of equipment that you guys approved this year, and we appreciate it. Do you want to cover the billing right now? What else you need or anything?
Yeah, that's fine. I think I have, I believe Dave has the IRS letter, so I gotta get that from him. And then after we approve, are the rates on for tonight? They are.
Yes, they are.
Once I approve that, I'll just need a copy of that, for our records, and I can submit to them, just a copy of the resolution. The only other thing that I had, we need a Section 6 Medicare form, which we're in the middle of an audit, so I don't know that we can get that. And a government accountability letter. Anybody know what that is? 'Cause I do not. So, the big thing is the IRS letter, and then the billing rates, and then once I have those in hand, I'll schedule another meeting with Heath from MedAccount, but we should be wrapping this up here, and by the end of this month, I would hope.
Quick question. We're gonna lose, it's looking like we're gonna lose a lot of money this year because of this previous billing company. Is that something that we can turn into our insurance? I mean, we're talking like probably $100,000.
It's fraud, so we could check with those. I mean, we make the call, if nothing else, just to see if we.
Yeah, we're talking a lot of money
Yeah.
that was used to getting that we're not getting.
And they filed bankruptcy?
I don't know.
Did they?
They filed bankruptcy?
I don't think they filed bankruptcy.
They don't return phone calls, I mean.
Yeah, that's the truth. They will not return calls, emails, anything.
Whether they've tried to cover themselves, knowing this has happened, that's what.
Yeah, I'm not.
Or is that something we should talk to the prosecutor's office and see? Because they act as our attorney.
I can do it if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd reach out to the prosecutor's office first and see if they have any guidance on us. Or that.
Okay. All right. That's it.
Breakthrough?
We've been busy doing a lot of ditching in 8 different locations. We've tallied up about 500 feet of ditches we've cleaned out. There's a couple of them that we found on our own needed done, and the rest of the residents called in requesting it. We clean them out for them. I had an incident last week. Well, the brush on the left, that was actually in German Township. We was going to, it was off of Hinkle on Rocky, just past the county line, thankfully. So I called their crew and they came out and they said that was the second spot. So that's the same spot, just 2 different pictures. But they had another spot that day that they'd found some too, that people just throw right in the middle of the road. So, just something we deal with. On the right, it's just another ditch that we was working on. We got the resident brought down the tree and we had to finagle around that because we wasn't about to dig that stump out. So he's there. So I had an incident, last week. It's not uncommon for the arm mower to find phone lines and cable lines and brush that's hidden, or you're looking at the brush and you got the arm up and you think you're missing that wire and you catch it. Well, that's what happened here, but it's my first power line in 25 years running the arm mowers. And it didn't look like a power line. So it comes down, it's single wire. Well, that's cable or phone. I open the door, I grab it, I said, that's awful stiff. So then I get to look, and that's the service line going to the house across the street, power line. So I stayed in the tractor, did the right thing, called Butler Rule, because I know Butler Rule services Dickey Road. And when I gave the address, it was 7010 Dickey Road. She's like, I think we stop at 6995. So I was like, and I was like, well, I can see that mailbox. She's like, well, I think you're at Duke Energy, but we'll send a guy up, but you need to call Duke Energy. Well, calling Duke Energy ain't as easy as Butler Rule. Butler Rule, they answer.
Amen.
Duke Energy. So I called dispatch. They wouldn't call Duke Energy until fire was dispatched. So Kent and the EMS and the crew, they came out. But unfortunately, in the meantime, while I'm sitting there waiting on everybody, Safe Haven pulls up in their van full of residents, which you can see in the picture at the top right. They go to turn around in the driveway, and those are front-wheel drive vans, so when they back up, he got the passenger side wheel off the driveway, and it's just sitting there spinning. So they're stuck. And I'm just sitting there watching it, you know, nothing I can do. Are you kidding me? So the neighbor on the right, he has a backhoe. He came out and offered, you know, I can pull it out of the backhoe. So they got all the residents out of the van. And he got the van back up on the road. They got gone. Butler Rule shows up. He looks at it, nope, that ain't ours, that's Duke Energy's. And he goes to turn and walk away. And before I could say anything, Kent's like, well, can you at least get the wire off the tractor for him? He can't get out. So he went and got his, you know, electric stick, and he got the wire off. We got the tractor moved, and then we just waited on Duke Energy. So, and it was there quicker than we expected, but he came and got it reattached to the pole, and that was the end of it. But that's the first time I had power lines come down. I've had a telephone pole come down too on the tractor once, not ours, but anyway, that was the ordeal last week. But as far as brush mowing, we should be done in the next week or so. We got a little bit in the south left, and all of Michael, the deal with Michael is it's very dangerous, and we do flaggers on Michael because you get around some of the blind spots and cars come flying around. So but we'll get the brush mowing here within the next couple weeks. The guys went around. It's not uncommon for dead trees to fall over in the ditches, and we don't get caught out because they're not in the road. So they go around, you know, every so often and cut them up and throw them back in the woods. So they've been cleaning out ditches. Had a tree removed on at 7610 Dickey Road. Another dead one, branches dropping down the road, and the resident actually called in. He was mowing, and you know, he kept finding branches falling in the yard, and he's waiting on one to hit him. So had that removed. The chipper, the new one that was purchased, I'm not sure exactly when it was. Zach and Chris thinks it was in the last 4 or 5 years, but the safety switches or something's acting up on it. It's not want to keep going, so we took it down. Vermeer actually, it come from Washington Courthouse, but they've actually got a service center down on off of Cincinnati Dayton Road now that just opened in the last month. So Zach ran it down to them yesterday to get serviced, and the guy said he would look. He thought it might even be under warranty still. So
It's only
hopefully,
got 38 hours on it.
what's that?
Got less than 40 hours
Yeah,
on it.
yeah, yep. Because that's the new one, and
Cramped.
hadn't been used a whole lot. Today, Chris stayed back, but me, Roy, and Zach went up to the annual farm science review outside of Columbus. Years ago, started as strictly ag, you know, farm science or farm education for OSU. Through the years, it's just grown and grown, and now it's salt trucks and lawnmowers and tractors, backhoes, and farm, you know, a lot of ag, everything. So we went up there, get some ideas on next year we want to get rid of the tractor and the batwing mower for the park, and go with a bigger rear discharge, zero turn, and also the mower on the back of Zach's tractor is getting some age on it, and we're looking to switch that out next year as well. So got a lot of good information to hopefully help out for that, and that's all I got for now. Any questions?
I know this may sound strange to talk about this already, but how are we doing on salt for this coming year?
We got plenty to start out, but I think the prices, I wasn't ready for that. I'm gonna bring it up next month, but it did go up. I will, you know, just like everything else, salt did go up. I want to say
I
it's,
thought it was 95,
I was
wasn't
gonna
it?
say 91,
Yeah,
92, maybe
Somewhere in
95.
the low 90s.
It's in,
is
yeah,
what
it's in the
last bill we
90s.
paid.
Is what the contract is this year.
Do we have somebody still storing that for us? What city, Middletown doing that?
That's all. That's all done. Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Once they got moved, that new one and everything
Yeah.
started moving in. Yeah, he's got that done.
Okay.
Yep. And I forgot to write that down, but since you brought it up, we was gonna start servicing all the trucks in October, but since we ain't mowing grass, obviously, the guys started servicing salt trucks and everything this week. So, and that's something me and Kim was talking about this morning. Oil filters, fuel filter, that stuff is flat ridiculous right now. I mean, it's crazy what that stuff costs. It is what it is.
Thank you very much. Our next item. On our own business, approve the request for qualifications for the firehouse design. I'm not sure if you guys have time to review that. That was something we discussed in that special meeting in September. Now I think we've got the advertisement and everything ready to go on that. So we'd send that out same as we did the design for the construction of the park. Any questions on that? Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yeah.
Under new business, approve resolution for EMS billing rates with Medi-Account. After reevaluating prior rates, we'd like to approve new rates. And I guess this is the same as what Trenton has. You guys
Yeah,
have
so
comments on that?
we evaluated a couple of the neighboring departments. Trenton had just about the best. I mean, they're all reasonably close, but the rates that we have are, I couldn't even tell you how old they are before I was in this position. So we want to kind of update those, bring them up to where they're comparable with other surrounding departments.
Is that
only increasing.
Is that ALS 1 and ALS 2? What's the difference between those two?
So it's just, so you got your BLS calls, which is just basic life support, then you got your ALS 1 calls and your ALS 2 calls. It's to do with the drugs, I
The
think.
drugs and 12-week.
Yeah. So you have ALS runs, which is advanced life support, and then advanced life support 2 is runs that we would use the drug bag on, push drugs, do cardiac intervention, stuff like that. The more we do, the more costs.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Don't hook me up that monitor.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Just real quick, keeping in mind with these rates, so we still will continue to do soft billing. So we see, people look at these rates, and this is what the insurance companies will be billed. They won't be billed individually, and if they are, it's soft billing, which means if we make a run, we charge $1,000, insurance only pays $800, then they'll get a bill for $200. But we don't send, if it doesn't get paid, we don't send it to collections or anything. For the simple fact, we don't want people to fear calling us if they need our help. So it is soft billing, won't be anything out of pocket. It's just what their insurance company's charged, which is what just about everybody around here does.
Okay, our next item is to approve the 25-hour block time with our IT company, Computer Services Now, for $3,000. We have approximately 6 hours remaining, and that was transitioning to the .gov. We use some of that block time.
So moved.
Second.
I just think I was just, Andy from our IT company reached out to layer 2 computers, which is a little bit more knowledgeable with the .gov. So they just went through Andy and then we just used the block time. So whenever they put the bill to Andy, Andy just took it out on the block time.
Our next item is to approve.
We haven't voted.
What's that?
We didn't vote.
Oh, I thought we voted on it.
Sorry, I was writing. Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes. Approved to send a letter for noxious weeds to 6250 Middletown Germantown Road. This is the old Lindens. This will be sent via priority mail instead of certified.
So moved.
Second.
Old Lindens,
Yeah.
try it again.
Try it again.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes. Approved resolution for request for Butler County Engineer for surveying the Pleasant Hill Cemetery boundaries. This is no cost to the township.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Approved quote from, this is from Urethane.
It just came in right before the meeting started.
Yes.
So you guys just like to lay the copy out.
You got it right.
For repair of the roof. Is this,
You look up in your lens, your light, right above you see a water stain.
yeah,
So when it did rain 6-8 months ago, we came in and we noticed water puddling there. So kind of forgot about it. It quit raining and we all kind of forgot about it, but anyway, had a guy come in last week, and he gave us a quote, which, like I said, I just got it right before the meeting, $600 in this area, from the peak in that area, replace the screws. You know, there's rubber grommets on those metal screws, only good for so many years. The building's 30 years old. He's just proposing to do that immediate area where it would be leaking. He's giving me quotes later for next year to do a complete overhaul, more permanent fix. But he said you might do that now and you might not have a leak for another 5 to 10 years, but there's definitely a leak. So that's what that's for, at least get those screws replaced in that area now, then we'll,
And that's a common thing on metal roofs.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do that if you don't do the, I'll get the name of it. but-
well, he's gonna give quotes of coating, where you don't have to replace all that, you just recoat metal roofs. There's a membrane material that they can overlay on the metal
Yeah.
roofs. There's
Yeah.
a lot of different options. But for now, before winter, this at least get it fixed. We'll worry about a more permanent fix later.
So move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yep.
Mr. Willoughby?
It's not a bad price at all. No.
Approved lighting district assessments for the tax year of 2024.
So move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes. Approve the purchase with the grant money received from Otarma for the safety equipment on the trucks.
So move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Approve the Firehawk graphics reflective chevrons on the tailgates of truck number 1 and 2.
It's reflective chevrons on the back, it'll be red and white. The one thing about the trucks, I'm trying to make things a little more safer. And right before I started, the crew, Danny was pinned between the door and about ripped the door off that new truck on Hirsch. So it'll get more reflective material on the back of the two trucks, and on the six, let's see.
Taillight assembly.
Oh, yeah, it's also, tail lights in the
Yeah,
combination
that'd
brake,
be for the
running light.
2020 truck. It's just got small round tail lights on it now. There's no strobe lights on the back. There is a cab strobe light. But this new tail light assembly is a lot bigger, like 6x8, I don't remember the size. But it's brake, tail, running. The center's reverse light and strobe light. So when you're parked, it's flashing strobe lights. Put it in reverse, it goes white for reverse light. So just safety stuff, and it was through the grant, through Otarma, but it is, $127.94 over the grant.
So move.
Second.
Well, did we already approve it?
You approved receiving the grant of $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
sorry.
gonna do
Yeah.
127.
Roll call, please.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes. Approve the grant from the Elks of Mass Township for the amount of $1,000. The items we purchased.
Yes.
So move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. President, if I could just talk about that in a second. The Elks down there have been very generous to us. Earlier in the year, they bought us a battery-operated ventilation fan. And then, immediately after that, they contacted Chief Runnells and said, we found another grant. Do you guys need anything else? And he jumped all over it and was able to get some additional equipment. So the Elks have been very, very good to us.
Approved grant of $37,541.25 for the purchase of rescue tools awarded by the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation, as well as the appropriations for the remaining balance of $12,513.75 out of pocket from the fire fund, for a total purchase of $50,055.
Like I said before, this is the second battery-operated set of Jaws of Life. This set will go on the new engine, the E1 coming from Ocala, Florida. And when that's in service and in place, our rescue tools will be up to date with brand new jaws of life. We're replacing 25-year-old hydraulic sets of rescue tools, so it'll be a good thing.
That just amazes me, they all can be operated on a battery.
I know.
I mean, it's amazing that they can, it's very fortunate. So moved.
Is that something we're gonna sell, the hydraulic set we got?
So we currently still have both of them. One set we'll probably keep as a reserve, and then the other set, there was some Butler, not Butler Tech, but some adult ed and high school schools that was interested for training purposes. But if we go down that road, we'll obviously bring in front of the board for something like that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron?
Yes.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes. Our discussion items. I know I've attended a couple of the webinars online from OTA. I think, are you saying that you can get
Yeah, you can buy a group for $200 for the whole year.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
So that,
And then we all have access
That's
to
a
it.
good deal.
Yeah.
because I think the one I went to was talking about funding and design of buildings. It was $20 just for one, for me to attend. So I was like, oh yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, for everybody.
I mean, I can, let me ask them first, does that mean it's like a year from now until next year, or if it's like calendar year,
Yeah.
or I'll ask that first.
Thank you. Next item is about trick or treat, October 31st.
I started early just to jump on it because usually Amy helps us out with that one on the dates and times in Madison Township. So I was always just learning from that part. I'm pretty sure we just went off of Middletown now, 6P to 8P on the 31st.
Yeah.
I figured we just let you know that's probably what we'll be able to choose and put that on our website and our Facebook page.
Yeah, I think we usually do when Middletown does theirs at the same time, and that's on a Thursday night.
Is that, we want to go with
Yeah.
6 to 8? We want to get that posted on the.
Me and Terry take care of that. I appreciate it. I thought you left.
The aggregation of, I think we got a document we need to prepare for that. Well, I've been trying to work our way through the construction stuff right now and get to that. We do want to get to that. Talking with them, the energy rates are going to go up.
Yeah.
Probably about 25% next year. So.
Everything else is
That letter that we
car
sent
insurance,
to
house, just everything.
Energy
Up to
Harbor needs to be sent to
25%.
Travell.
I did this
Did
morning.
you already do it?
I
Okay.
did this morning.
Thank you,
I
Dave.
apologize for the confusion of my
No, that-
part to learn all that.
That's easily, I mean, that confused me. for a
Everything I
while.
found in that file over here, Dynegy, and it goes all the way back to 2015, 17.
Yeah.
And whenever I start looking at it, it gets so confusing. Well, my question is I addressed it to Mr. Metallic, and why didn't they contact Travell and says, hey, they're contacting us, you might want to give them a call? Or why didn't they call me and says, I think you got the wrong letter to the wrong people?
Yeah.
They signed the certified and just sent it back to me, that was it. So this morning it was taken care of.
Okay, thank you, Dave, I appreciate that. That could, I mean, that could be,
Yeah.
I get it, I
All right.
really did.
All right, next item is our park building bid. We had our meeting last Friday to review the bids with the hopeful bidders. We'll see what they come in. They should be coming in not this Friday, but following Friday. So hopefully we'll have some good bids come back and get that going. Oh, another thing with the grants, we are still working with the state to get those through. They are submitted. They said the only problem, they had a problem that was listed as not as Madison Township or Butler County. So they're supposed to be, I sent emails out and made some calls today where we're supposed to be getting that fixed. So,
That would've been bad.
yeah. It was just sent out to all the Madison Township.
Well, no, they would have sent it electronically and
Yeah.
gone
Well,
to the
it-
wrong Madison Township.
It had our tax ID, and we had a Ohio Pays ID. So I think it would have got to us, but
Anyway.
that was, we just used that ID and that number they sent. I mean, put it in the form, and then they came back and said, well, you put the wrong name and the wrong amount in. I was like, I didn't put a name or amount in, so, but, like I said, they're getting that straightened out.
Do they do it the same way? Was it a reimbursement or do they give you the money up front?
They give you money.
Oh,
It is
nice.
a.
So we won't have to float it then?
Yeah.
Okay,
That
great.
was a very big concern of mine.
Yeah, 'cause
I was like,
The
where?
way they've always done ours is it's always been a reimbursement, so.
Well, that was the way that the bill was written, that they actually gave money to the Ohio Department of Management to administer it.
Okay, are they gonna do the same thing for the fire station too? Great.
Same way. Okay, item 11, the executive session for under ORC 121.22G1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, promotion, compensation of a public employee.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Coldiron? Mr. Willoughby?
Hey, for executive session, could I have Chief Peters and Chief Runnells?
Touch base with you real quick before you
Not
sneak
Chief
out.
Peters.